Good morning, everyone. Welcome to day 22 of our 100-day challenge. A little story. Dean and I were talking one night, and he was telling me about this thing they all say back home. In the West, a man becomes more attractive the moment another woman wants him. Get a girlfriend, and suddenly other women look twice. A show he watched even said that there's research that says a man wearing a wedding ring in a bar gets approached more because if one woman locks him down, he must be worth something. And honestly, I've heard the same thing from hundreds of dating advice, and I just stared at him because here, that's insane. And girl, I can see you nodding with me. Here, a man with women buzzing around him is not a catch, he's a threat. He's a red flag with legs. I told Dean straight, if I see other women wanting my man, I don't think, oh, he must be valuable. My brain lights up with red alerts and danger signs. And he laughed because to him it was obvious the one way, and to me it was obvious the opposite. Same situation, completely different signal, read from two different worlds. And I could not stop churning that conversation over because it cracked open the thing I've been putting off for weeks, the crazy jealousy. The one every foreign man in this country complains about. Once you understand why that signal flips, you understand something no one has told you yet. Her jealousy was never crazy. It's math. It's survival math. And today I'm going to show you the equation. Girl, this is for you, and gentlemen, same as last time. Do not tune out. This is the answer key, and when it's over, this is the one you send her. But first, I owe some of you men an answer. Because after that tampu walk, a lot of you push back hard. And one of you said something so sharp, I want to put it right up front before I say anything else. He said, you get more of what you reward. If she does tampo or gets jealous because a waitress smiled at me, that's not me doing something wrong. That's social proof. And it's a huge mistake for a man to apologize for being the man she was attracted to in the first place. Gentlemen, he is right, fully, and I mean it, because it's the ground this whole episode stands on. When her jealousy fires over something you did not do, like a stranger in your DMs, you do not grovel for it. You do not apologize for existing. You do not walk on eggshells in your own life. So before I explain where the fear comes from, let me be crystal clear about what I am not telling you to do. I am not telling you to simp. Hold that thought. I'm coming back to it because it's the most important thing in this whole series. First, let me show you why that signal flips. In the West, that other women want him instinct is real. Psychologists even have a name for it, mate copying. Now, the pop version Dean and I heard is oversimplified. The studies that actually tested a wedding ring makes you hotter flopped. But the real thing underneath is true. A woman will use other women's interests as a shortcut. Because the stuff that actually makes a man a good bet, is he loyal, is he stable, is he kind? You can't see that across a bar. So the brain takes a shortcut. She chose him, so he's probably worth a look. And here's why the West runs on that shortcut. Because a big chunk of the Western dating market is built for speed. Swipe, sample, hook up, move on, short term. And in a fast market, you need fast shortcuts. Somebody wants him? Good enough for me. Next. But here's what happens when you bring that same signal here. It doesn't become social proof. It becomes poison to her because she's not shopping in a fast market. She is making one enormous long-term till death whole family bet on one man. And in that game, a man a dozen other women want is not pre-approved. He is a resource with a target painted on his back and a door that everyone around him is quietly trying to hold open. Same man, same signal. In his world, he's in demand. In her world, he's at risk. She's not reading it wrong, gentlemen. She's reading a completely different game than the one you think you're both playing. And here's what makes it so much worse. You can't even see the game she's watching because you went blind to the board. Think about your life here. You walk into a mall, a restaurant, and women notice you. Some smile a bit too long. The waitress is a little too attentive. Your phone gets DM requests from names you don't know. A woman she's never met likes your photo at 1 in the morning. And after a year here, you don't even register it anymore. It's background noise. You got so numb to the attention, it rarely means anything to you. But she never did because she grew up reading this exact room. She knows what that smile means. She knows which of her own friends and neighbors have told her they think you're handsome. And she knows the one thing you refuse to believe, that plenty of them do not care one bit that you're taken. Some of them see taken by her as a challenge. And then there's the phone. Social media here isn't casual, it's intelligence. We joke that Filipinos are all Detective Conan, and it's true. The Marites aunties around the corner are dubbed as better than the FBI for solving cases at lightning speed. She knows who liked, who commented, who watched her story at midnight, who you followed back. So when a stranger starts liking your post at 1 a.m., she's not being paranoid. She is reading data. Data you deleted the second you saw it. So, girl, let me now turn to you because reading the room is smart. It's what you do with it that wrecks everything. Because when you take all that fear and turn it into a phone raid, an interrogation, an explosion over a waitress who was just doing her job, you are not protecting your relationship. You are corroding it. You're punishing him for a war he doesn't even know is being fought. And here's the cruel irony: the tighter you squeeze, the more attractive that open door starts to look. That thing you're most terrified of, it starts to materialize. Let's take it from a psychologist named Orion Taraban. When you act jealous, when you interrogate, when you rage over a rival, you are actually telling him out loud that you think this other woman is a real threat, a better option. You can plant an idea in his head that was never even there. Whatever you keep pointing at gets bigger. So the very thing you do to hold him can be the thing that first makes him look. Now, underneath it is the same cross wire as tampo. Your jealousy is trying to say, I am terrified of losing you. But what he hears is, she doesn't trust me. She's trying to cage and control me. You're saying, come closer, hold me. He's hearing, get off my back. So he steps backwards, further. So, where does the fear really come from? Because it's not vanity, girl. It goes all the way down to survival. Go back to what we learned in the mating strategy walk. That's day 7, which is part 1 of the social class arc. For a woman climbing out of a hard life, a good man isn't just love, he's the rope out. And everyone can see the rope. So the fear of losing him isn't only heartbreak, it's falling back down the ladder she just climbed. And let me be clear about something so nobody thinks that this is only a foreigner problem. It's not. Extreme jealousy between two locals is just as real here. Because at the bottom is the same instinct, protecting what's yours, your one mate for life. And here's a piece the West forgets: there is no divorce in this country. Well, not yet anyway. So when we say till death, we mean it literally, legally, no exit. You don't guard a thing casually when it's the only one you will ever be allowed to have. That raises the stakes on everything. And most of you carry a scar. You've watched it happen up close. The other woman, the second family, the husband who was charming right until he wasn't. You watch women you love get destroyed by it. So you walked into this relationship already braced for a betrayal that hasn't even happened. Your jealousy isn't about him, not yet. It's armor you put on years ago for a wound that was already there. And then there's the part that never crosses his mind. If he leaves, you don't just lose a boyfriend. Everybody knew: your family, your friends, the neighbors, especially the chismosa ones, the girl from high school who's been waiting for you to fall. So if it ends in public. You lose him and your face and your family's security and your status. all at once in front of everyone who was watching. So put it all together, and here's the truth at the bottom of it. Jealousy is the exact same thing as tampo. It's honesty she cannot say out loud. What she actually means is, I'm scared. I'm scared you'll wake up one day and realize how many options you have and I lose everything. But she can't say that because saying it out loud feels like admitting she's replaceable. So the fear comes out sideways as suspicion instead of as truth. And yes, let me just say the word plainly because the men keep saying it and they're not entirely wrong. At the bottom of it, that's insecurity. I'm not going to dance around it. But before anyone uses that word like a weapon, hear this. The therapist Esther Perel calls jealousy an erotic wrath. Her point is that it is not a disorder and it is not a trauma. It is one of the most normal human emotions there is. Love and desire that you wanted pointed at you and it went or might go somewhere else. So, girl, feeling it does not make you broken. Everyone who has ever loved something they were scared to lose has felt it. The feeling is human. What we're fixing is only what you do with it. And one more time so no one twists it. None of this makes you a gold digger. That one is a woman who only wants a man for his resources, uses him and discards him. Whereas a good woman, and I'd like to believe that's who you are. You treasure what you're given, you multiply it, build a whole life on it, and everyone around you is better for it. Guarding something precious is not greed, it's love that knows exactly what it stands to lose. So here's your tool, same two halves as always, but this one has a deeper third layer, so stay with me. Keep this one. The fierceness. A woman who guards what she loves this hard will never take him for granted and will fight for the marriage on the ugly days. Do not let anyone talk you into killing that fire and becoming some cool girl who'd simply shrug if he's strayed. That fierceness is a feature, not a bug. Translate this, the delivery. You take the interrogation. Who is that woman who liked your photo? And trade it for the true sentence underneath. When I see other women want you, I get scared I'm going to lose you. Tell me I'm safe. Same fear, new words. One accuses him and pushes him toward the door. The other invites him in to reassure you. But, and this is a big but, and the man flagged this, and they're right. The sentence is an emergency tool, not a daily one. Because here's the trap, ladies. If tell me I'm safe becomes something you need every single day, it stops being honesty and turns into a leak that never fills. Researchers have a name for it, excessive reassurance seeking, ERS. And the cruel twist they found is this: constantly asking to feel safe does not make you feel safer. It makes you feel less safe, and it quietly drains the trust out of the relationship. The reassurance goes in, the hole never fills, so you ask again. And he starts to feel like a suspect who can never prove his innocence. The tighter you clutch, the more you push him toward the very door you're guarding. So the voiced sentence is for the real, rare moment. The daily work is somewhere else. It's inside you. And here is the most freeing thing the research found. So really hear it. It is not the jealous feeling that wrecks a relationship. They followed couples for 2 years, and the fear itself didn't predict things falling apart. What predicted it was the behavior, the phone checking, the monitoring, the surveillance. Take the behavior out, and the damage from the feeling almost vanish. Do you understand what that means, ladies? You are allowed to feel it. The feeling won't kill your love. It's your hands that kill it. So feel the fear and sit on your hands, yeah? Here's one actionable advice you can do right away. If you're a chronic social media user, here's an immediate fix and you won't like it. Quit! Stop comparing your life to everyone else's highlight reels and protect your mental health and your relationship. I deleted social media over 7 years ago, and Dean quit 15 years ago. And life has never been more peaceful. Well, while YouTube is technically social media, there's a massive difference between creating and consuming to compare yourself to other people. Now, ladies, let me tell you the deepest layer because the fear will still come. Knowing where it's from doesn't delete it, so what do you do the moment it rises? Years ago, I watched a talk where the speaker described the human body as the most sophisticated chemistry lab on Earth. The only question is whether you're a good CEO of that lab or a lousy one. If your peace depends on the actions of others, a like, a glance, a late night text, you've handed the key to your life to strangers. You've made 100 people you'll never meet the manager of your inner world. And that is the real prison, girl, not him, your own outsourced piece. So when the jealousy spikes, you do this instead. You notice it, you don't fight it, and you don't feed it. You just turn to it like a scared child and say, "Thank you for trying to protect me." Because that is all it's doing, and then you don't act. Not in that moment, because here's the truth. You will never lose a safe, good, faithful man because you paused to breathe before you spoke. That is not how love breaks. Love breaks from the phone raid, never from the pause. That's the inner work, and it's three parts. One, when the jealousy spikes, don't act on it for a day. No text, no check, no accusation. Let it burn and pass because it will. Two, separate what you're imagining from what's actually happening. Write it down if you have to. Two columns, what I know and what I'm making up. Then extend him what you would want extended to you. Innocent until proven guilty. Unless his actual actions have given you a real reason, you choose to trust. Yeah? Three, the deepest one. Build the bone deep belief that he chose you. Not your looks, not because you are available and convenient. You, the woman that you are. Oh, by the way, no need to take notes because you can simply grab the free companion workbook that I linked in the description below. I created it simply for you guys for this particular episode. Work through it together and on your own to break down these jealous patterns and win as a team, yeah? Okay, back to it. Here's the truth under all jealousy. A woman who truly knows her worth doesn't guard her man like a thief in the night. And a queen doesn't panic when the peasants admire her king. She knows the admiration is proof of her crown and not a threat to it. Your self worth is the real cure. So keep the fierce love. But the clutching, that one comes from the wound. And that wound is yours to heal. Let me show you this from my own life because I lived every word of it. My insecurity was at its worst at the very beginning with Dean. Remember how I told you about how a woman screens a partner hard in the early days? That was me, and it nearly cost me the relationship more than once. There was no history between us yet, no track record to lean on, so my mind invented one. I'd imagine him talking to other women behind my back while he told me he was committed. A whole silent jealousy over things that were never happening. I never even said them out loud. I just let them trigger me and quietly pull away. Insecurity and my own old wounds all tangled together. But here's what changed it. It wasn't him reassuring me more. It was him showing up consistently, boringly consistently, proving over months that he valued loyalty as much as I did. Steady, trustworthy, stable. Until one day, my nervous system just let go. And I never doubted him again, never got jealous over some invisible thing my mind made up. That took over a year. So I know it's not a switch you simply flip. But here's the line that matters. There is a world of difference between a woman still learning to trust and a woman who still can't trust after years of a man proving himself. If he has shown you his consistency and his loyalty for years and you still tear through his phone at night, That is not the culture, and that's not a wound he can heal for you. That's where trust died. And a relationship with no trust has already started going downhill. Get help for that one, yeah? Don't let it rot the good thing you have. And now, gentlemen, you're half because she cannot do this alone. Here's what you now understand. Her jealousy is not proof you're untrustworthy, and it's not a character defect. It's her reading a real environment you can't see, sitting on top of the fear she was taught her whole life never to say. So, two things. One, don't dismiss it as crazy. Let's be honest, if the roles were flipped, if handsome men flirted with your girlfriend openly every day in front of you and everyone treated it as normal, you wouldn't last a week, would you? I bet you'd be the one checking her phone at 2 a.m., yes? So have some humility. You're the one holding the safer hand here. Two, don't feed it either. There's a loud idea out there that a man only has two options. Either he be a simp or a dictator, cave to everything or dominate everything. Either grovel or dump her at her mother's house over a week of silence. That is a lie, gentlemen, and it might be the most important lie I break in this entire series because there is a third man, and he's the one who actually gets the peaceful home. He doesn't grovel and he doesn't discard. He understands the fear and he still holds the line. And hear me, because this is the whole thing. Reading her is not weakness. It is the exact thing that lets you hold the line without cruelty. A doormat can't build a marriage. He just trains her that tears run the house. A dictator can't build one either because he just trains her to hide from him. Do you know who can? Only a safe, strong man builds anything, the one who can say with love and without flinching, I see you're scared and I'm not going anywhere, but we are not doing the phone checks. That's not simping, gentlemen. That's leading. The strongest thing a man can do is stay warm and hold a boundary at the same time. So, your job is not to be her lifelong detective, and it's not to beg either. It's to make her safe. Transparency from both sides. The phone is not a secret. Let that be a reassurance that you both don't have to claw out of each other. And the big one, the day she finally says the brave, scared sentence instead of the accusation, you move toward her. You do not say, why are you so insecure? You reward the honesty every single time until her body finally learns the truth is safe with you. And here's a gift. Let me flip this whole Western game for you. Back home, your value was on keeping your options open, yeah? Being wanted. Here, it's the opposite. The most attractive, highest value thing a man can be is a man who visibly, proudly, and gladly belongs to one woman. So, wear the ring, post the photo on social media. That is, if you're a social media person, make the relationship public. Not because she's insecure, but because in this culture, a man who clearly has no options open is the safest, most magnetic man in the room. Your loyalty isn't a cost here, it's your superpower. So, use it wisely. Now, one hard line, and I want you to remember this. Jealousy that softens the moment you reassure her, that's a fear you both can heal together. But jealousy that no reassurance ever touches, that goes through your phone every night, that accuses you of things that never happened, that tries to cut you off from everyone you know, that's not love and it's not culture. That's control. That's the wall I told you about last time. Learn the fear, but know the wall when you see it. So that's the honest we. She keeps her fierceness, he brings his safety. And instead of a war of suspicion and eggshells, they build a fortress that nobody can get into. Not because she's guarding a prisoner, but because she's finally trusting a partner who keeps choosing to belong only to her. It's the same lesson as the tampo, girl. The jealousy was just fear you couldn't say, so we say it. And then we do the quiet work of not needing to say it so often. On the next one, we pull off the mask that makes Western men the angriest of all. The little lies, the honesty that felt too dangerous to tell. But before you go, two questions. Girl, what's the fear underneath your jealousy? Said plainly in one sentence. Practice here. And gentlemen, what have you been calling crazy? That was really just saying scared. I read every single one. Again, grab the free workbook in the description. It's printer friendly. And if you're new here, check this playlist that I conveniently made for you to catch up on this very long conversation. When in doubt, start with either the 100-day morning walk challenge or the season 1 playlist. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so the person who needs to hear the message finds it. Thanks again everyone for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. For now, come, walk with me. I'm just going to finish this lap over here, bake in the sun, and watch some surfers riding the waves.